Light. With light, we see another place where opportunity glistens. We take who we were and merge it with who we will become. One new face, two, three, hundreds, all appreciative. Appreciation for friends, knowledge, courage. Though our hands be different shapes, sizes, and shades, we all hold an incredible sand that trickles along and saturates us with this inexplicable energy. Energy. We are energized by each other. Every one of us has a different story, and talent is concentrated in every corner of our being as a whole. We are our family, peers, competitors, motivators, cheerleaders, lifelong friends. We'll laugh and we'll reflect. Together, we will strive with light, appreciation, and energy.
In this place were gathered some of the best minds of our generation, nurtured by knowledge, forging friendships to last a lifetime. Walking through the desolate streets of the square searching for memories, complicated, complex intellectuals and artists desirous of the success that was promised to them with hard work, who sat laboriously writing, researching, rehearsing, in cramped, double-bedded cells with minimal furniture, who stood outside of these walls twice a night at the request of authority, who lived with this authority's inconveniences for the experience unlike anything else, who opened themselves up to their fellow minds and created unbreakable bonds, who shifted from shyness to gregariousness so that every Orpheus could find his Eurydice and every Penelope her Odysseus, who awoke at an ungodly hour each and every morning in order to scavenge some all-too-rare clean clothes, who stuck with the hectic schedule and left for class unshaven and freshly showered, who waited impatiently 20 minutes early for a crappy cup of coffee under the stress of being a fraction of a second late, who learned it was all worth it as they exited the university buildings that housed the most enriching of classes and most unique of teachers, who gathered around massive structures made of pushed-together tables and chairs in direct violation of the rules, who chivalrously escorted those without umbrellas or coats during the constant, angry fits of rain, in contrast to the scorching heat of the sun that furiously beat down on those who braved it, who either loved their electives, which are actually minors, or were disappointed to have gotten them, who roughed their way through All-American Blue Angels and Van Halen during leadership speeches for the last group of people to actually need one, who admired the work of the music majors in concert, who idly stood by as all of the Signor Benedicts and Lady Beatrices lounged around the vast lawn that was sprinkled with towels and ukuleles every evening, who played cards and sang along to show tunes in the company of best friends, who tucked themselves into their stiff mattresses for a terrible night of sleep that went unnoticed due to exhaustion, who had no idea what was in store for them at first glance, who learned a great lesson about knowledge, friendships, and life over the course of those 4 weeks, and I'd be surprised if they weren't fearing the end in sight.
Black holes. They are defined regions in space. They entangle electromagnetic radiation. Escape is unattainable. Invoked by the collapse of tremendous stars, yet surrounded by millions of the same. Oceans. They subsume most of our ethereal planet. They all appear to be parallel. Identical watery blues with the vile waves that meet grains. Forgotten are the ones who reside, the wonders of sea. Yet remembered are the ones of human value. Mountains. They leap with boundless force to embrace scattered clouds. They are scintillating greenery, along with curious explorers. The climb is strenuous, pleasured by the wide lens given to see the earth curve, yet unamused by the journey that was harmoniously endured. Sometimes we are granted the opportunity of being all three of these phenomena. Sometimes the tick-tock of a clock transforms into a trance-inducing daze. We are black holes that absorb all of the knowledge and the memories experienced. We are oceans that seize the biggest of obstacles and help others do just that. We are mountains that respect the expedition to success, as well as the failure it may bring. Here, uniformity is ruptured. Here, expectations are unobstructed. There is no room for exterior pressure, for standard expectations, for universal tests that attempt to compare millions of individually astounding bodies, for anything that doesn't possess impulse. Here, the margins, brinks, outlines are all hidden. Nothing will be forgotten. Flickering, vacillating eyes that are not quite ready to face daylight. A slow-moving pace that leaves enough time to notice how the sun plays hide-and-seek with the towering leaves. To notice how the same comfort will shortly morph into smoldering heat. To notice the hourglass that is absent-mindedly letting go of sandy grains, counting with remorseless company. Perchance these grains are what make this aperture in time so entrancing. These grains have given us something so beautiful that would not be possible without the absent mind. Absent minds. They are itty-bitty children, unaware of what's to come. This can, should, and will be changed. Once it is time to press play and let time run again, we must remember. We do not take a journey in space, or in the ocean, or on the mountains. We are the tough black holes. We are the mysterious oceans. We are the infinite mountains. We are incomparable.
Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to beat you, but you're so hot that I melted. Fell right through the cracks. Now listen,
There's something to be said about how it feels to be surrounded by genius, brilliance, talent, in a close community. To be surrounded by those who crave knowledge, who hunger for information intended merely to feed one's soul. To be surrounded by those who are driven to succeed perfectly, as opposed to succumbing to mediocrity. I find myself so drawn to people who feed off of others' successes, who encourage, not berate, others to go beyond their failures. This is what home should feel like. This is where one should feel like they're welcome. This is when everything makes sense. This is where you, where I, where we finally belong. 4 weeks of home is good for one's heart. GHP, the magic square, feels like home to me.